2 years have passed since I woke from the coma I'd fallen into after Celestia teleported me to safety from the battle with Queen Xanthos. In those 2 years, I have learned a great many things about what happened while I was asleep. Princess Luna assumed control of both the moon and sun and tried to rule Equestria as best she could, though she found it more difficult than her sister after her 1,000 years in exile. This wasn't helped by Diomedes waging war on Equestria by invading the towns and villages along our border, killing hundreds of innocents and the guards who were sent to defend them. They had made it all the way to outlying suburbs of Canterlot before the true size of the threat they posed was known to Luna. In the conflict, both my brother and my parents were lost. Enraged by the loss of her sister and of her subjects, Luna gave in to her ancient fury and killed all of the horses who had invaded Equestria. Then she flew to the small country of Diomedes and destroyed it utterly. This put her at odds with Princess Cadence, who, still mourning the loss of shining armor, used her grief and love for him to defeat King Sombra, and now rules the returned Crystal Empire alone. Spike was so distraught that Luna, not knowing what else to do with the dragon, gave him a horde to help him feel better, which fueled a greed growth spurt, and he fell into the traditional dragon 100-year sleep in a cave below Canterlot. After learning all this, I sank into depression and locked myself away in my old tower in Canterlot. I helped Luna remotely to run the country, but refused to see anyone else as I processed all these losses, in addition to losing my horn, my magic, and my sense of self. However, Luna realized this was not healthy and encouraged me to seek out my old friends from Ponyville using the Royal Scouts. The Scouts were able to locate 4 of my friends, and I have arranged to meet them at a tavern far outside of Ponyville.
Dark the stars and dark the moon. Hush the night and the morning gloom. Tell the horses and beat on your drum. Con their master, con their son. Dark the oceans and dark the sky. Hush the whales and the ocean tide. Tell the soldiers and beat on your drum. Con their master, con their son. Dark the stars and dark the moon. Hush the night and the morning gloom. Tell the horses and beat on your drum. Gone their master, gone their son. Dark the oceans and dark the sky. Hush the whales and the ocean tide. Tell the soldiers and beat on your drum. Con
you lousy bastard! I'll fight you till you're nothing but a greasy stain on the floor!
Fuck you mother-humping bug beast!
Your mother humped a bug beast just to make you!
Me mother was a saint! Ooh!
Hey! Ahoy! Is that the best you got?
Break it up! If you guys bust up my bar, I'll rip off your balls and make you eat them raw.
Yeah, cold brew, I was winning!
Shut the fuck up. Drink inside, die outside. Them's the rules.
Fuck you, Dale! You insulted me mother!
That's it. You're out.
And stay out.
Fucking watered down booze, knob liquor. Should have your fucking ass piece for contract, you stupid little fucker.
This can't be the right place. This is the location on the map Raven Inkwell gave me. It's just so much noisier than I imagined they'd pick. Oh, and smell here. Oh, ew. Ugh, why would they choose a place like this? Ugh, Rainbow Dash or Applejack I could maybe see visiting, but Rarity? Or Fluttershy? Pinky? Well, Pinky will probably think of it as a project and cover it in balloons and streamers. Still, this is where they agreed to meet me. I guess they have their reasons. After all this time avoiding them, I guess I really don't have the right to complain if it's not exactly Canterlot Castle. Oh, my gosh. This was such a bad idea. I should leave now before... Oh!
Out the doorway, lady!
Oh!
Aye, shift your ass. We got drinking to do.
Sorry. Hello, excuse me? I wonder if... Could anyone... Excuse me? I said... Excuse me?
Yeah, what'll it be?
Sir, I was told to meet my friends here. I was wondering if a reservation was made under the name Applejack?
Are you yanking my chain?
Huh? I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Buy a drink or get out. Reservations? Does this look like a damned restaurant to you? If you're here to ask dumb questions instead of drinking, I'll throw you out on your flank. You got that? So I'll ask again. What'll it be?
I don't...
Right, that's it. You...
I reckon you ought to learn to improve your customer service if you ever want to keep this here tavern afloat, Cold Brew. Or do I need to have another private discussion with you after you close tonight?
No, that's quite alright, Angerjack. Here, let me grab you a drink. On the house, and, one for you too, ma'am.
Thanks, partner. I guess you get to keep your other eye today after all.
Jack?
Well then, I guess you got my message after all. I didn't know if you'd actually show up. Didn't know if I really wanted you to.
Applejack? Is that really you?
Ain't heard that name in a while. No need to stare. You ain't looking so hot neither, Twilight Sparkle. Come on. I already grabbed a table over yonder.
Oh, but...
I made a right sacrifice coming here tonight, given I had no evidence you'd actually turn up. You ain't exactly inspired much confidence in that sort of thing since I saw you last. The fact that your scouts found me at all was the only thing that made me think you'd make an effort to come meet me at last.
I know. I'm sorry. It's been so long.
Save it. Sit down. Gotta say, this weren't exactly at the top of my list of things that I'd be doing this week. Meeting ghosts from my past, that is. Fuck, I needed that.
Applejack, what happened to you? You've changed so much.
Guess I have. Ain't ready to tell you the details quite yet, Twy. I'm more interested in what happened to you. I seem to recall something about being gone a couple of months. How long are those months in your world, by the way? By my reckoning, there must have been a few fucking years in the real one.
Applejack, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I thought it would be just a couple of months. I truly did. But then everything went out of control so fast, and Princess Celestia, the princess, she...
I know what happened to the princess, Twy. You think us country folk are so backwards that we can't read the news? Or do you reckon that we live under a rock so we don't hear nothing out here? You were in Ponyville for only a few months, so I'd hope you learned better than that.
No, that's not what I meant at all. Princess Luna said... I was in the hospital for a long time, and I wanted to write to you when I first got out to explain, but explaining meant... It meant accepting some facts that I didn't want to accept back then. I was waiting for the right moment, and then as time went by, the right moment got further and further away. And eventually it was just easier to not look for it anymore.
And pretend that part of your life didn't happen? Like we never happened? Like your friends didn't matter?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You do matter. You always matter to me. That's why it was so hard to face you. After Princess Celestia died to save me and my horn got destroyed, I put what happened to me in the letter I sent to you, all but the words. The words to explain, I couldn't face you girls and tell you it was all my fault.
Shit. No, I'm sorry, Twilight. I shouldn't have snapped at you like that. I don't think before I say stuff no more. It's just, well, I got a lot of stuff bottled up in me. Just a lot of shit happened since we last saw each other. That letter of yours, I'm glad you're okay and all. It's just dealing with all of this suddenly on top of all the other stuff. I ain't sure what to make of it all.
I'm sorry, Applejack. I just wanted to see you all again. I didn't know what to do when I learned you weren't in Ponyville anymore, so I sent scouts out and... well...
Forget it. We're here now, I guess. And I meant it. I'm glad you're okay.
So, what happened to you since we last spoke? If you want to talk about it, that is.
Sugar Cube, I could fill a library with all the stories that happened since you headed out to Diomedes with the princess. Where to begin? Well, that day you left, I went back to Sweet Apple Acres. I decided that, consarn it, if you were going to be working hard to make Equestria a better place, then I damn well better work hard too. Not that I didn't work hard already, but still. I vowed that until you came back home, I was going to work twice as hard and get the farm running in tip-top shape to show you when you got back. You were, well, some kind of inspiration to me, I guess. I don't know. Think I wanted to, well, to fucking impress you or some shit like that.
Impress me?
Don't matter no more. Those times are gone and the opportunities from back then went with them. Over time, it wasn't just enough to be the best apple bucker this side of Appaloosa. I felt like I needed to be more than that. I wanted to be a protector. I looked at my family and I thought about the things that you had gone off to face, and I thought, what would I do if something came from my kinfolk? What could I do if something scary from outside Equestria popped up inside of our borders? So, I started to train myself with Mac to get even stronger. As you can see, I built myself up to a rather grand size. Them orchards never stood a chance. Things were going well for a while, but then them surviving guards from your caravan made their way back to Equestria, and we got the news about the princess being dead and you being missing. We thought you were dead, Twi, especially when the attacks on the border towns came. Princess Luna took care of it, but nobody could tell us for sure what had happened to you. We thought maybe you died with all the others whose bodies were never recovered. Well, right about then, no pony was really in the mood to do anything for weeks. We were all just still mourning the both of you. Time just seemed to stand still for a long while. Celestia was supposed to be forever. I couldn't even wrap my head around her being dead. It was like saying that water was dry or apples tasted blood or some shit. Just an impossible notion. And I couldn't quite believe that I'd never see you again neither, Twi. You had been a part of my life for such a short time, but you made one hell of an impact. The thought of you dying, way off in some part of the world far from home, far from your friends and family, especially after those stories that came out of how those Diomedes horses killed folks on the borders, just ripped them to pieces, and ate them while they were still fucking alive. The thought of that happening to you, it was damn near all I could do to get out of bed every morning. I had nightmares about it, Twi. Horrible, ugly nightmares, where I tried to save you, but those fuck-ugly bastards pulled you apart right in front of my eyes.
Oh, Applejack.
Of course, at the time, we had no idea you were still alive.
No pony did. Princess Celestia teleported me away from the battle, but, well, she didn't have time for accuracy, so I landed in Trottingham instead of Canterlot. My horn was destroyed from her magic overwhelming mine, and I was so badly burned from the magical backlash that the ponies who found me said they couldn't even tell what color my fur was, much less make out my cutie mark. They couldn't even use a horn spiral print to identify me since I didn't have a horn anymore. I stayed in hospital there for months before my body had recovered enough for my cutie mark to be visible again, and word got back to Luna that I'd been found alive, but was in a coma. The few royal guards who'd survived Xanthos' attack took weeks to get home with their injuries, and none of them knew I'd survived, so they told Luna I died along with Celestia.
Luna. Yeah, she ain't... Well, let's just say she's no Princess Celestia. When we finally got back to work after she took over as ruler, that's when things really started to go downhill.
What?
Long story short, all our funding and priority sales from Canterlot started to dry up after Princess Celestia disappeared. I guess Luna wasn't so great at controlling both the sun and the moon like her sister could, 'cause the days and the nights' lengths got all messed up. The weather got more wilder than the weather ponies could handle, and the seasons got all kinds of fucky. Did a real number on our crops. We practically had no harvest that year. It was too much for Granny Smith's heart. She passed away in the summer.
Oh my gosh, Applejack, I am so sorry for your loss.
Might late for that now, ain't it?
Oh, I guess you're right. But I am sorry. Granny Smith was always nice to me.
Yeah, well, she knew I liked you, so she tried real hard to make you feel welcomed in our home. That's why we wanted to give her a nice funeral. But on top of all the funeral costs and the daily costs of running Sweet Apple Acres, me and Max started to get a little in debt. Well, you know me. Stubborn as a bull without some pony to knock some common sense into me. I refused offers from those trying to help. Didn't want no charity. Didn't want no pity. Went back to being fucking proud and stubborn without you around to tell me I was being a dumbass who couldn't do everything on her own. What I wanted was for everything to go back to the way it had been. Obviously, I couldn't have that, and knowing that, well, it made me act more like a goddamn fool. I pushed away everyone except my family. That farm became my whole world. And eventually, the other girls went their separate ways. Fluttershy went first. I guess she couldn't just cope with all the sadness in that town no more. Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie struck out on their own too. Ponyville just wasn't the same no more. Things were different. But I decided to stay and save my family farm.
They all left? All of them? Just like that?
They each had their reasons. You've been gone a long time, Twi.
I know, but... No, go on, Applejack.
We got further and further into debt. When Canterlot ponies finally remembered we existed, they didn't want to fund what they saw as a lost cause. Then it happened. Mac went behind my back and borrowed money from some shady dealers to get us back on track. I know he did it for me, because we were so desperate, and he could see that I was working myself into a grave right next to Granny's. That fucking idiot. He bought all sorts of enchanted doohickeys to put nutrients back into our soil to save our trees. He paid to import saplings from Appaloosa to replace those we'd lost. He banked on having a bad harvest being followed up by a good one so we could get some profits to pay back the loans. But you can guess how that ended up. The land didn't have enough time to recover, so we never got that good harvest. Then some shady ponies finally came for their money. And, well, we couldn't pay them back. I found Mac talking to them on the front porch one day. I told them straight up we couldn't pay them back right now, but we would with interest come the next harvest, when the soil had been given enough time to produce good crops again. I meant it too. Only there weren't gonna be no more harvests.
AJ?
Oh, sorry, Mac. I was distracted.
Thinking about her again?
Why would you think that?
You always are when you stare at the horizon like that.
Never you mind what I'm thinking about. Come on. Better get back before Apple Bloom starts to worry. She probably already has supper on the table.
AJ, it's all right to grieve. Even if you're grieving for a what might have been rather than a what was.
I know that. You think I don't know that? I absolutely know that. Granny said much of the same thing before she... I don't want to think about that right now. This weekend, we gotta fix that there squeaky door on the barn, Mac. It's getting downright annoying. Same thing with the broken hinge. All that hay up there is gonna get moldy if we just let it rain in.
Yep.
I wonder if we should take a hinge off a door somewhere in the farmhouse and repurpose it instead of buying a new... Mac? Mac, what's wrong?
Smoke.
What? But where? Oh my gosh. The farmhouse! Mac! The house is on fire!
Apple Bloom!
Oh my gosh! She's inside! Apple Bloom! Apple Bloom!
And just where do you think you're going?
What the? I know you! You're them moneylenders from the other day! Did you do this? Get out of my way!
Now, pretty missy. Be nice. We were really clear with your brother when we lent him that money. If he couldn't pay it back with the interest he owed, we'd take payment in other ways. I reckon the insurance money you'll get from that big old house and furniture should just about cover your debt.
Filthy monsters!
Move!
Mac! I can see her! She's in the bedroom window! Apple Bloom! Apple Bloom, we're coming! Apple Bloom!
I said move! Apple Bloom!
Ah! Apple Bloom!
Well, shit. Now, the little filly, she was an accident. A real shame. But we can't have you two running inside and getting yourselves killed alongside her. How are you supposed to pay us back if you're dead, Big Macintosh?
I'll kill you both for this!
That's a powerful threat, Big Macintosh. You sure you have the stones to back it up? After all, it'd be an even bigger shame to lose both sisters over one measly debt, wouldn't it?
Why, you dirty rotten...
But if you pay the debt off, in full, with
Interest on the interest. Well, then, we'd have no reason to bother you or your family ever again. Now, would we? And of course, you'd have no reason to retaliate against us, since if you did, you might wake up the next day as an only child. Hey now, back off. Didn't you hear what we just said?
I heard you.
Good. Then we'll be on our way now. We'll be back in a few days to collect the insurance money. And if anything were to happen to us in the meantime, well, we aren't the only members of our little organization. Our threat still stands, even if we ain't the ones to carry it out. Pay up, Big Macintosh. We'll lose everything.
You cowards! She was just a little filly, and you murdered her!
AJ, no!
Oh, God!
Get her off of me!
Filthy mongrels! Come here! You don't get to push around the apples like this! She was just a baby! Just a baby! And you couldn't get her out of the house first?
Crazy bitch! Help!
AJ, look out! Oh.
Shit! You idiot!
Mac! Big Mac!
I'm sorry.
Big Mac! Big Mac! Speak to me! Big Mac! Big Mac! Big Mac!
How in Tartarus is he supposed to pay us back if he's dead, you absolute mook?
It was supposed to hit her, not him.
Big Mac! Big Mac, please! Open your eyes!
Shit! Yeah, you're damn right, shit. Now we have no leverage. And you know what that means.
Yeah, I know.
Big Mac! Big Mac, please! Big Mac, please! I can't lose you too!
No witnesses when a debt can't be reclaimed.
Wait, what are you doing? No! No! Stop! They burnt down Sweet Apple Acres, right down to the foundations. Mac and I, we tried so hard to protect Apple Bloom from the truth of how bad things really were while the farm was failing. But all that did was get her killed. They took the lives of my brother and sister that night, and tried to do the same to me, except, well, that didn't work out too well for them.
Applejack? What did you do?
By the time any pony got there, it was too late to stop me. Let's just say I took my anger and pain out on the nearest available targets. I was half dead from my injuries, but them, well, they're not going to be extorting money from any pony else ever again. I didn't just kill them, Twilight. They didn't even look like ponies by the time I was done with them. Got myself banished from Ponyville for my troubles. Can't have a killer pony in town, I was told. Not unless I regretted what I'd done. And I didn't regret one bloody hoof step of what I did. I scared them, Twi. They said I was different after I recovered. Too different for a town like Ponyville. I didn't have no home to keep me there anymore. So, I just kinda wandered for a spell. Got a name for myself around here. Put my bucking skills to use for the right price from the right pony. Got me a moral code, but there's a lot of bad creatures in the world who need to be put down. Ain't like it used to be before you left. That kind of reputation attracts attention. And, well, here we are. I'm walking back from my latest beatdown, and some Royal Scout stops me and gives me a letter.
Oh, Applejack, that's so horrible. Poor Apple Bloom and Big Mac.
Yeah. Poor Bloomin' Mac. Sorry, Twi. I cried up all my tears a long time ago.
So, Angerjack?
Ha! Yeah. Cute nickname, ain't it? I've broken up more than a few fights in this here tavern. One even more.
Didn't the others come back when they heard about Sweet Apple Acres?
No, they didn't. You've probably spoken to them more than I have all these years.
I haven't seen any pony at all.
Well, I reckon that's about to change.
What?
Turn around, Twi. Look over there.
Over where? Oh! But... Wow. For a moment there, I thought that earth pony mare with the multicolored hair was Rainbow Dash. Do you see one of the others behind her?
Twilight Sparkle? Is that really you? And you, Applejack?
Rainbow Dash?